quantlabs.net. Just wanted to let you know we've got a new shop that just launched last night here at quantlabs.net/academy/shop. The one item I would like you to pay attention to is this one, little pussycat. Let's talk about what's been. You are a bunch of winners. Look at all that red in the markets. I mean, now they're trying to pump up Bitcoin. Right here, Forex I think is a little too big. Good luck with that, and all the other articles and stuff as well. So I've gone through the usual sources here. Before I get started, let me just pull up our oil and talk about that for a little bit, because I think that's going to be an important part. WTI. Okay, so oil, daily basis, it's still going up. It's flattening out, but they're saying that this is going to continue to move up because of less supply, thanks to your new overlord, President Biden, who has pretty well cut back exploration. But let's see how that also affects Brent crude. People should know the difference between Brent crude and oil. You can see here. We'll take a look at copper as well, because that was doing quite well. And let's get to our scans here. So here is the SPX flattening out. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one, because I'm a bad boy. So you can see here France, not looking good. France, the 4-hour target price up here. Sorry, target price here. So that's a short, lower than the current price. Obviously, that means we should take lessons from shorting, like Stephen Cohen when he shorted GameStop to lose 15% of his portfolio. Way to go, guy. British pound against the Canadian short. Now this one still maintains its long, all because of oil. So that's going to be a good one to be in. You could just look at how well USD Japanese yen's doing. I find this particular interesting. We have two shorts on that. And it may reverse. Is that because the markets are expected to get better? I mean, I have not looked at the... let me just take a look at the DXY, because that's a huge factor now. It's been hovering between 90 and 91. So let's just see what's going on here. So yeah, exactly, 90.53. So there's been really no movement on the US dollar. So here we have where everything's looking good for silver. Silver in Canadian got a long. Silver in British pound has a long. But you have to see how far off these targets are. So this is not going to be forever, okay? Be aware of that. Same with Hong Kong. Same with Singapore. So these are your leaders. Again, not in US dollar, because, well, we know that story as well. So this is silver for 4 with silver in Hong Kong, in Singapore, Britain, and Canadian. I'm surprised I'm not seeing New Zealand in there, or Australia. Here's the Australian markets. Boom, it's getting tanked there. France again, another short. Euro and British pound. I will say, if I was to be in the markets or any index, I would be looking at France, the CAC. I don't know why, it just seems to hold its ground pretty good. Hong Kong and Japanese yen's got its short, but that's performing. And again, we have another one. So maybe, does that mean that they're expecting the Japanese yen to weaken? It's very hard to keep up to date on what's going on globally, on each country, on their macroeconomic news. You can see here the IN50, India is just getting clobbered as well. Canada, Singapore's got a short there. 2 shorts. British and Singapore is a short there as well. Here's what we got to watch is the US and Chinese yuan. We do know that they are rolling out this digital yuan. Won't be in effect till this year, probably next year. But you can see how the short's not that far off. This may start to reverse as If things get worse, I'd be watching that. USD Poland's getting hit. That's a short. Same with USD and Thai baht. Again, just getting clobbered here with the S&P 500. But you can see here, quite the USD second long here for USD Canadian. A couple of more calls again here for USD Japanese yen. There's just shorts, and that must say something on the target of, or the reversal potential of the yen to start to decline. Potential, again, I never say for sure. More shorts, franc in the Hong Kong, Canadian Hong Kong. So it's quite interesting how the Canadian dollar is starting to perform a little bit. And even here, taking off some. This is the British pound and the Canadian, a short there, but it's getting hit a little bit, but it's getting short there. This is the one to watch. Copper in USD. Okay, so it's choppy. Not getting hit as hard as the U.S. markets. So if we start to see this to start to move up, then we can safe to say that as, again, a leading indicator on industry, and that is being used as a base metal to feed into product being produced. This is what we're going to watch as for sure to confirm when the markets just generally start to turn around, be it how the pandemic affects everything or whatever else, political news. So let me just show you on a daily basis here on that. You can see it's just been a nice steady trend up. So that tells you things are getting manufactured globally, maybe in China, Australia, and starting to flatten out, and it may start to turn, it may start to turn up, we don't know. But this is what you want to watch. Copper. Platinum. So when you compare gold, this one's getting less affected. And I say that because, as in the description, I do think that the criminals and banking trading desks, even if they get fined, are still suppressing gold. So if you're going to play that kind of metal game, platinum is good. Silver definitely is giving you some really good performance. So, but gold's just not performing, and that's because it's getting suppressed illegally, I think, globally. Canadian and CHF here is sort of long, but we have a short in play. Deutsche 30, again, a short and declining as well. So overall, the equity market's not really a good place to be in. US top 30, again, getting hit with a short. British pound and the US dollar. This is a very critical pair to watch because, as I said, in US dollar, this is one of the only pairs that show up in US dollar to show the overall strength of the US dollar. So we're not getting a lot of, it's just bouncing around between 90 and 91 on the DXY. And this right here will tell you how things are playing out, because the British pound is starting to show some signs of strength long term. Same with the New Zealand as well. But here you have a short on the British pound and the New Zealand as well. Again, here we have the USD CHF, got two longs in play. So when you compare that to the Japanese yen, which was traditionally the better performer, yeah, it looks like the Swiss franc's starting to get some longs there. So again, I wouldn't do that. You'd be wasting your time over the last month. As you can see, it's been not performing too much. But this is the one I'd start to watch, is the Norwegian. This is very sensitive on how the U.S. markets play out, how the U.S. dollar plays out. If you map this out against the U.S. markets, you would definitely see this is one of those currencies and pairs that trades against it. So if the markets do tank, this one's going to take off. Same with this one. So we have two more longs in USD in Sweden. But the question is, where do you put your money if you were to play that game, plus with Denmark as well, that has a long. So you need to figure out where you're going to allocate. And again, there's ways to do that by running portfolio allocators based upon historical trend. And you can determine, based upon that historical, where and how to segregate those positions for both USD in Norway, Sweden, and DKK Denmark. Continuing along, what we have here is, again, the Swiss franc is not showing signs of strength, but it is quite interesting how there's two more longs here. Again, Last month has not performed, but with the CHF, that may start to prove itself if the Japanese starts to weaken for whatever, the Japanese yen. Here we have gold and Hong Kong dollar as a short, so that says something about Hong Kong as a whole. Thanks for the like. With the short here, Hong Kong is not looking good, obviously because of the political concerns of the Chinese takeover, mainland China. Again here, gold in Japanese yen, we have a long and a short, that washes them all out. Gold in Singapore, again, two of those washes them out. But this is the one I'm interested in, is the silver in Australia. But I find it quite interesting how, what was the currency in British pounds? Well, it looks pretty well the same. But if I was to hold silver, I would be looking at either holding it in British pound or Australia. And I think Australia, because it's a mining resource-based country. So for them, what's the saving grace is just the value of gold. Silver's going up, and again, it doesn't appear to be suppressed by like gold is. So continuing along, we are looking for our gold in, silver in British pounds. Second long there, a second long with Hong Kong in New Zealand, but it looks like there's a little bit more growth going on and more potential performance with the British pound. Canadian dollar probably could be a long. I don't know, so I'm going to move on. Here's another one. A safe haven trade potential is euro and Swiss franc with a long, euro in Denmark a long. But this is the one I'd really pay attention to, is what happens with the British pound, because they may start to strengthen. I mean, it's been shown that for the last couple of weeks. Euro Hong Kong short here again. We've talked about that. Euro in Hong Kong, another long. Euro in New Zealand, again, it's just weird how New Zealand's not breaking out like what I'd like to see. It's been doing pretty good. But again, not going anywhere. Euro in Singapore, same thing. Now here's the big trade. Here's the Euro USD short. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, you can see it's come off. It has started to pull back here since December 1st. So who knows what to say, but again, you're not going to get any performance with that kind of trade right now. Deutsche 10, Deutsche 30, Deutsche 10-year short. Ooh, when the bonds get hit, this comes back to the clarity of the balance sheet of these countries. Deutsche 30, another short. GP in Singapore dollar. Has a little bit of performance there, as you can see, but a short. Not looking good. Taiwan. I'd be staying away from Taiwan. I would have thought a year ago Taiwan would be a great place to invest, but because of the threats from China, obviously that's what's not going to help. Okay, again, here we go on about Britain. Here we have finally a proper call for the gilts 10-year bond with a long. Okay. That says something in spades right now when you compare the bonds, which we haven't seen yet of the U.S. and we saw a short for here, a short for the Germany as well. So that says something right there. But why oh why is Britain still getting a long for these 10-year gilts? It's quite interesting because it says either with confidence that they have more trading packs to come to strengthen their economy, and who knows what else. The Russell, take a note here, that these calls are not as bad, didn't get hit as hard on the U.S. markets compared to the S&P, NASDAQ. I'm still waiting to see something on, but if you need to play in the markets, U.S., yeah, play the little stocks, because they don't get hit as hard. But if you want better performance, then yeah, you want to be in the S&P, the NASDAQ. Okay, so here I had a lot of hopes on, and once again, is USD in Hungary. Just see going nowhere with a short. I don't know. What can I tell you? Saudi has a long, but again, no volume. US 30, a short. And we know about those. Again, we have more longs coming in with the USD Swiss franc. That's quite a few. There's 4 or 5 of them. Now here we got USD Czech, USD short for the Czech, and USD Denmark on another long here. Check this out. Hong Kong's not looking good. USD Hong Kong, USD Norway. You can see it was rising when the markets were tanking. Took a dip when the markets, U.S. markets, started to perform yesterday. Now they're starting to turn around. This is USD in Norway. Second long call for USD Norway. 2 more for USD and Sweden, but you can see how there's virtually been no hit either way. So USD Norway seems to be a lot more sensitive to compared to USD Sweden, but I have seen Sweden easily outperform USD and Norway. USD Singapore, not much going on there. CHF short, again, really insignificant. Another short here. Canadian and the CHF with a short. Again, one of those pairs you don't really need to worry about. Pound in Hong Kong with a short. Pound in New Zealand with a short. Pound in USD with a short. I don't know what to tell you there. Just clearly you know where to go with what I mentioned earlier. New Zealand and Hong Kong. Again, that's a long there. A second one, again, I don't really concern myself with it. New Zealand and USD. It has a long. Kind of going nowhere, but you can always play these leg ups. But there's really obviously some no different than USD Norway. So indirect trading there relationship. Singapore and CHF has got a long. Second one, third one, or there's a short there. Singapore, Hong Kong. So we're now getting the good. That's about it. I don't see any comments. Thanks for the likes. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day.